What is sociology? Sociology is defined as the study of the people and institutions that make up a society, a group of people who share a culture and a territory. It is a discipline that examines how humans interact with each other. Human behavior is shaped by social structures, social categories, and social institutions, and these are the factors that affects a person's life. From a classical sociological perspective, the self is a relatively stable set of perceptions of who we are in relation to ourselves, others, and to social systems. The self is socially constructed in the sense that it is shaped through interactions with other people, thus making the self a product of society. This video aims to expound on the ideas of well-known sociologists and address questions regarding the self on a sociological perspective.
First off is Charles Horton Cooley. Cooley believes that the self is formed through an interactive process. The looking glass theory denotes that there are 3 steps in a looking glass self. First, we imagine how we appear to others. Second is when others actually judge our appearances and respond to us in the way they please. The last stage that completes this reflective process is when we develop and form our own personalities by generating feedback. In this sense, we may develop ourselves both through a correct and incorrect perception of how others see us. Next is George Herbert Mead. Mead developed the role-taking process, which states that people have the ability to use other people's perspectives and formulate their own behavior. He relates the theory to a child's development over time and divides it into 3 different stages, which are the play stage, the game stage, and the generalized other. In the first stage, the child is said to be unguided by a specific set of rules and can only assume the role of one person at a time. Whereas, in the second stage, the child now has the ability to comprehend a specific set of rules and is capable of grasping more roles. In the last stage, the child starts to form the idea of the generalized other, or the society at large, where the child understands societal rules and responds to them accordingly.
Third, Irving Goffman's dramaturgical approach is about how the lives of the people were like actors performing on stage. He believes that life is like a never-ending play. When a person is born into the world, the person is already in the stage, which is also the everyday life. Goffman would use terms such as scripts, audience, performance, props, and clothes to resemble the life of a person to theater.
Lastly is Cushman. Cushman's transhistorical analysis of the self in a social setting supports all of the aforementioned statements. He suggests that there is no such thing as a constant or a transhistorical definition of the self. There are, however, only local selves that follow locally created theories. In conclusion, these theories manifest the viewpoint that our idea of the self is truly a product of society and our social interactions with one another. From the looking glass self to the role-taking process and the dramaturgical approach that collectively form a distinct local self. While the idea of the self undeniably contains an individual and internal element unaffected by what we see in others, this sociological perspective may nevertheless be considered vertical to a certain extent as the self is influenced by external factors, especially the social structures, categories, and institutions we belong to.